is a presentation of 18 WJTS Sports. The Jasper Wildcats versus the Evansville Central Bears. This game is brought to you by
Carpet Warehouse, Master Brand Cabinets, DuBois County Tire and Supply, Maringer's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, DuBois County Garage Doors, Ubilar & Sons, McDonald's, Big O Tires, Westside Dairy Queen.
Now let's go down to the field.
Welcome to Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium. Game played on Joe Reller Field tonight. The Jasper Wildcats in round one of sectional 24 action, and it's a rematch against the Evansville Central Bears. The Bears, champions of the SIAC Conference with a 9-0 record against the Wildcats, 7-2, who finished second in the conference in their first year back since 1979. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider, along with Bob Welp and Jeremy Markos on the video, and just taking a look at this football game. First of all, again, Bob, one thing that's nice about being in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference is as far as the teams that we play and all that, a lot of them are in our sectional. You take a look at this, and it's like, Central, Jasper, Wrights, Harrison, Memorial. So those teams right there, and then now Northview's outside the conference, and now Boonville's no longer in our conference. But, again, they're all conference foes. So when you have two teams like Jasper and Central who have been pretty well the two top teams for the most part in the conference this year, it gives us an opportunity when you do fall in a game like we did earlier against Central, where we lost that game 24-17. You get a chance for redemption, and you don't always get that opportunity a lot of times in sports and all that. But tonight, it's basically an opportunity for the Cats to redeem themselves from that loss earlier in the season.
Well, the one question that always comes up when you get beat during the regular season is that going to motivate Jasper, to come out here and do what they need to do. If they get a W tonight, and I am very confident that they can, of course they got to get away from the fumbles. We had a couple last week against Vincennes. They can win this football game. Now, Madison, their 250-pound stud, did not play last week, or last time that we played, and he's out there now, and he's going to be also clogging up the middle on the defense at the nose end. And we all know about Evans and the speed and all that. But, the question is asked or answered at the end of the game. Maybe it was enough motivation to put Jasper over the mountain.
Well, and that's the thing. I think tonight, especially with the weather conditions, we had a bad storm that came through earlier, and so then now I think we're kind of expecting another ban. It's starting to rain right now, so we're just getting set for kickoff, about a minute or so to go. But, again, kind of looking at the radar, there's a chance that another thunderstorm could quickly come through. But I think we might possibly have a delay in this game. We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. But it looks like it's going to be clear after that. But because of the weather conditions, both these teams are running football teams. And you talked about Javante Madison, last week against North, because he missed a couple games this year, but he's rushed for 482 yards and 6 touchdowns. Last week against North, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he did not play in that first game against Jasper. They're going to want that power football game to go, but they also have a good running back in Boberg, who had an outstanding game against the Wildcats the first time around. And then, of course, Evans has got the speed when they want to get to the outside. Now, one thing that they did against the Wildcats, they threw a ball a little bit more than what they normally do in that football game. Blake Hurd, as their quarterback, was 9 of 15 passes for 83 yards, but he was throwing little dink and dunk screens out to the wide receiver and, just trying to get, and that was actually Camden Counts, 7 catches in that game. But I think it just kind of kept the Wildcats at bay, that it opened up the middle of the field. I'm sure that's what they're going to want to do tonight.
Well, what is the one thing that you and I have seen all year long, whether it be Memorial, whether it be Wrights? The Wrights quarterback had either eclipsed 200 yards in the first half against Jasper, or he was, knocking on the door. But a lot of it was, like you said, the dink and dunk. They have such great athletes on the outside. You'll see Evans get out there quite a bit. You'll also see Ro Diaz get out there, number 3. He's fast as lightning. Right. And what they're saying is, if we get the ball to our guys in the open field, we think our talent is better than your talent. And they're 9-0 right now. So until Jasper stands up and proves them wrong, they are the Kings.
Well, when it comes to the Wildcats, again, it's going to be that offensive line that's been pretty well intact all season, with Ashton Sheeter leading the way in the center spot. Tyler Kelly is a right guard. You got Carson Chanley, right tackle. Quade Pope, big number 69 at left guard, and Gus Heichelbeck number 64. Now, again, that is the line that's going to be, basically going to have to control the line of scrimmage. But in that first game, I'll tell you what, they did an outstanding job for Lance Dawkins, who rushed for 124 yards and a touchdown. And so Dawkins, who was out, missed the second half of the North game, missed all of last week. They kind of held him out there, but he's expecting to get the start tonight.
Yeah, they absolutely did not need him last week. And I think Coach has seen that on film. Now, here's the deal. You talk about Dawkins really starting to carry Jasper in the second half of the Central game. Well, they didn't have Madison in the middle. So Schneider and Pope and Kelly and Pope being the guards, you might see a lot of double team in there.
Right.
Try to push him one way to the other, because I guarantee you he's going to be a load.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, as far as Javante Madison, again, fullback, big power runner, but also pretty well their plug on the defensive line. He actually played 3 years at Boise and transferred to Central this year. So
pretty good move.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about Boise. He had a struggle this year, again, new system, new coach and all that. But, boy, they only scored 22 points all season. So it's a tough season for them. But anyway, for the Wildcats, they will get the football as we are set for action, and it is underway. And that will go straight into the end zone. So the Cats will have the football to start at the 20-yard line. And, of course, Blake Mann, the quarterback, he is leading the Wildcats in rushing this year. 151 rushes for 984 yards, 14 touchdowns last week, 3 touchdowns in that win over Vincennes. But also it's just a passing game, too, because, again, first time against Central, basically no yards passing. Mann was only 0 for 1. Came back against Castle with 88 yards. North just had 20 yards there, but Vincennes 5 of 8 for 77 yards and 2 touchdown passes that he threw to Allbrand. So we'll see if those two are able to hook up with the passing game tonight. As the Cats 1st and 10, and we are underway with the first play up the middle, and that is Dawkins who's going to get it to start things off. And it's just a pile right there in the middle of the field. And, again, this Central Bear team defensively has done the job all year, Bob. They've only given up an average of 6.3 points per game.
I understand that, and those stats are really impressive. But I don't think it's that much better than the Jasper defense. I mean, Jasper's, man, when they're on, they're on. Right now, let's move to the offensive side of the ball. We got to control this ball, and they got speed.
All right, so going to the outside, and that's actually Jacob Boberg making the stop on the quarterback, Blake Mann, so he gets his first carry and picks up about 3. We'll set up at the 25-yard line, 3rd and 5 from there.
I was kind of interested to see if Jasper came out tonight throwing, kind of try to throw a wrinkle into the game. The one thing about Central that nobody else in the SIAC has is that speed all the way across the second defensive line. That's all their linebackers. Man gets to the outside. If we do not have a hat on him, they will chase him down.
So Mann on 3rd and 5 is going to run the option. He's got Berger, who had a nice week last week, and now he cuts upfield with a nice move there. Torrey Evans will get the tackle there, but Berger picks up 6 or 7 on that play, and a 1st and 10 for the Cats.
An unbelievable job from the start to the finish. The catch that he had, Mann was going down. Mann's knee was very close to the turf when he released that ball. Caleb did a great job of catching the ball, because not only was it coming at a weird angle, you had a lot of pressure coming. Did a great cutback, picked up the first down.
All right, so the Cats are set there at the 32-yard line, just underway, 10:20 on the clock right now. Mann under center as usual. Now we got a play-action play. Looking downfield, nothing there, and he's just going to have to run it straight out of bounds. So nice coverage downfield, including number 15, Edrin Reed, one of the cornerbacks over here. But, again, he had basically 3 routes running, all within about 5 or 7 yards between them, and just nothing was there.
Well, when you run them that close, you bring the defense to it. Now, what Jasper should be looking at, and I see all the speed and the size of Central out there, they don't have anybody to guard Foley.
So loss of 1 on the play. Berger comes in motion. And there goes straight up is Dawkins. We got a late flag coming in there.
Well,
actually, Torrey Evans was kind of late there, so I don't know if it's they said targeting. So Well, I guess that was Evan because he came in late, and I couldn't see if he really lowered his head there, but he called that right after Torrey Evans came plowing through there. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty, so the Cats will have another first down.
So if they call targeting in high school, I take it it's not an ejection.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's not the case. All right, so that's going to put the football all the way to the 47-yard line.
That's I'm sure if you get 2 of those, it does. But I thought possibly a personal foul because when Boberg came up and tackled him, as the man was starting to get up, he kind of rolled up on him and gave him a little extra push.
All right, so a break for the Wildcats there, and 1st and 10, 9:57 on the clock. Man's going to keep it this time straight up, and good run there to the 45-yard line. So the Cats have moved into Central territory. Actually, they'll spot it at the 46.
That run coming at the 9:47 mark of the first quarter, it's going to have to be the same type of run when we get down to 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Man's going to have to run with that kind of intensity all night long for Jasper to be successful.
Now, again, what a matchup we've got there on the offensive line with Schneider going against Devontae. So, actually, Day's going to come in motion here. He had a nice run last week, but it goes straight up, and Dawkins is going to get close to the first now. I think he's going to be just shy the way the side judge is running up there, so we're going to have a 3rd down.
Well, you've got 3 downs. 2nd down and short, 3rd and short, 4th and short. Jasper's not going to not go for this. But they did a nice job on Madison right there. Schneider got up into his numbers, and I mean drove him backwards.
You know, and I'll tell you what, though, again, we've got an extremely talented offensive line. I mean, athletic, they're strong, they got great size. And, you know, I'm going to say this about the conference this year. You know, again, they got Mater Dei early in the season. Bossy was no competition for them. You know, Vincennes, you look at some of their blowout wins. I just don't think that they are used to an offensive line that they're facing with Jasper. Maybe Castle, but outside of that, you know, again, this is going to be an extremely physical football game.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Central handles it.
Well, I think you just said it right there. At one time, North was in that conversation, but you got Central, you got Jasper, and you got Castle. A lot of people feel that maybe not the Central game, but the Castle game was definitely a game we let get away.
Right. You know, Wildcats had a lead in that football game and ended up coming up short, but we are 3rd and very short here. Just
no silly penalties.
Inches. So Man's actually waiting for the signal. Now we're running the play clock here. So Man looks to the sideline.
Watch the way he moves his head, see if he sneaks.
Definitely 4 down territory, but he easily gets the first down with the 1-yard plunge there. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. The drive continues on. So in the key play so far, Berger with a 7-yard run on a 3rd and 5, a 15-yard penalty, and then on 3rd and short there, another conversion. So Cats 3 first downs so far in this drive.
Well, the biggest play so far early in this game was Berger getting that first down. I mean, that was huge, because if he doesn't get that and we punt the ball, we're like, oh, man, if they would go down and score. But he kept that drive alive. That was an impressive run, and it came at a great time.
So the option's coming our way, and there's Man. He's going to keep it, and he lowers his head, and Boberg's going to slow him up, but not before he's able to get across the 40 all the way to the 36-yard line, so a pickup of 6.
Well, I was trying to see what the number 40 was out there. That was Madison. He had Man squared up, and he just kind of took his shoulders and turned him and kind of dove at him to knock his legs out. It's like, you're a big man.
No, he's quick.
Yeah. Man just went right by him. No, he's got good eyes. You better tackle him.
Option goes the other way. Now Man's looking to pitch it out there. Actually, that was a forward pitch, it looked like. But, well, I tell you what, though, Camden Counts came in hard. He went high, too, on that hit, but there was no penalty flag like they called earlier on this drive, so that's going to knock him back a couple yards or so. Well, 3rd and 6.
That pitch right there there was nothing to happen. Berger had nowhere to go. He was that close to the sidelines. That's one of those where you just kind of tuck the ball and try to get you a few inches or get back to the line of scrimmage if you can.
So 3rd down and 6, 7:12 on the clock. First quarter action. Wildcats with the first drive of the football game. No score.
See if Central brings some heat. If Jasper passes, and they don't.
Man plows forward, so he saw the opening, and he was able to get close to the 35-yard line, then eventually knocked back there, so he's going to be short. So the Cats in 4-down territory. So they still got 4 yards to go on this play.
Well, you'd have to think that they're going to put it up in the air. And with the speed that Central has in the defensive backfield, you would really think that they would put it up to Foley, because Foley can go up where nobody else can. So get you a little 4 yards and across the middle, throw it up to Foley, let him bring it down. Let's move the sticks.
So play clock's down to 9 right now. Cats just coming out of the huddle.
You don't need to rush here. Call a timeout if you're a little bit off.
Snap is there. Man's going to, or yep, he is going to throw. He throws it out there to Berger, and it is almost picked off. Right there again, number 15. Edrin Reed had a chance there to pick that thing off, but he kind of stuck his hands up there. And I'm not going to call them stone hands, but that was pretty well a case of it, luckily for the Wildcats. But still, actually, that would have been more like a little mini punt, because he catches that football. They don't have as good a field position right now as what they are. So they'll get the football at the 36-yard line. So the Cats turn it over on downs.
Yeah, Jasper was very fortunate there that guy didn't catch the ball, because he had green pastures ahead of him.
All right, so it's Central's turn. Plow straight up, and look at the defense making a stop. Good power up the middle, trying to see the numbers coming off there. That's Beekler, number 24.
He came up with a lot of intensity. That's what, I keep saying the word intensity, but that's what Jasper's got to have this whole game.
So the Central Bears ranked number 2 in the state.
Yeah, they even tallied some first place votes.
Actually, the coaches poll had them at 3. Number 2 in the media poll. Jasper's ranked 8th in the media and 9th in the coaches. 2nd down. Now they're trying to get open space for Evans, and the Cats are there, and there is the flag coming over. So a hold against the Bears, but it's actually, I think, going to go for a loss on this play. So you deny or decline the penalty here.
Oh, my goodness, I would think that you would decline it.
So, yeah, it was an obvious hold by their tight end, number 84, Luke Picorni. But, no, they're going to actually march it off. So,
well,
it would have been a 3rd and very long here. It would have been 3rd and at least 11 or 12.
Yeah, it's a guy could look at it as 6 one way, half dozen the other.
So far the Wildcat defense doing the job. We got a holding penalty that will spot it now at the 24-yard line, but they keep the down, 2nd down, 2nd and 25. All right, now there's contact in the backfield. Now Boberg, he's going to see an opening over here. Allbrand's got to make a play, and now he sidesteps him, and he is off to the races. He's already got the 1st down and across the field, still going along the sidelines all the way to the 32, 31, 33-yard line is actually where they're going to spot him. But, man, oh, man, I thought the Cats had a chance to really stop him early on in that play, and then he just took off.
Well, we can't do the arm tackles. He cut all the way across our defensive line. Then he comes around, and we go out there and we dive at his legs. Now, you got to wrap these guys up. He's 200 pounds coming in downhill at you. You better wrap up his legs, or that right there is going to happen.
So 43 yards on that run for Boberg. Huge for Central. Just changes everything on this drive so far. Now Evans gets it. He's looking for an opening. Now he lowers his head and gets close to the 30-yard line. So short gain there of about 3.5.
I made mention in several of the games this year on how important it is for Jasper to keep their opponents to 3rd and longs, which 3rd and long would be essentially 3rd and 5 and up towards the 10-yard mark, of course. But tonight it's especially important, because if you get in a 3rd and short, you're going to get a heavy dose of Madison.
Well, right now it's 2nd down and 7 from the 30. Madison gets it. Boy, he's got some quickness, too, because he was quick through that line. Now it takes 2 or 3 Wildcats to bring him down, but he gets across the 25 to about the 23. and that's going to be real close to a first down.
Well, we hit him high. And just as opponents have found against Jasper, when they hit Dawkins high, you know, it's the same thing. Dawkins just drags you. We've got to get in these guys' legs. That's the only shot you got to bring down a 250-pound man running downhill that is nimble on his toes like Madison is.
So the Bears in business in the Wildcat territory now at the 22-yard line. 4:02 to go here in the first quarter. No score. First drive for the Bears. Now Madison gets it on the left side, and he's starting to get his legs going here. Gets across the 20 to the 19.
Well, he's not getting any resistance at the point of attack. Their offensive linemen are splitting our guys and pushing them out. And by the time we come up and make contact with him, which it's a good, solid contact, he's already at a full head of steam. So we've got to hit him at the point of contact. When that quarterback reaches back and hands him the ball, we got to make contact right there. Get him going east and west instead of north and south.
So 2nd down and 6. Keep an eye on the offensive line here, Bob. So he had some pulling guards there as Evans is able to get to the outside. Now he dances away from one guy, and now Albrand's able to bring him down. And he gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. It should be another first down, maybe a yard short.
You called it right there, keeping an eye on the offensive line. Both guards came out, and those guards, they're not little dudes. They're well over 200 pounds, and they're getting out there as quickly as the backs. That's impressive right there. But Albrand did a great job of getting into his legs and not letting go and twisting him down.
So 3rd and short, obviously 4-down territory at the 14-yard line. 2:42 on the clock. Boberg, nope, actually.
Nice job.
Oh, Boberg did get the football. Okay, he's going to be short. So Boberg got the ball on the sweeper, but cut it inside, and he actually lost a yard on the play. So now a big play here, 4th and 2.
I was kind of wanting to see if on a 3rd and short, especially when you got Madison and Boberg back there with good power, Boberg being the smaller one at 200 pounds, if it's 3rd and short and you can go 4th with those guys, why not try something in the end zone? But they didn't. They just tried to pick up the first down.
So Hurdy's the quarterback. Number 4 will go under center. 4th and 2 from the 15-yard line. Now the big guy gets it, and he just plows forward across the 10 down to the 9-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup for number 40.
That was, you know, it's a load. We talked about that. But that offensive line is firing out low. They're firing out hard. They're getting into our hips, and we can't bury them guys and look up because they're pushing us so far back.
All right, so check that. It's a 5-yard pickup. 1st and goal from the 10. Inside of 2 minutes, 1:45 now on the clock here. Central just moving right along, carried by a 43-yard run by Boberg. Now they give it to the quick Evans, and he's able to turn the corner, and he dives forward, and no signal yet. Yes, they do call a touchdown. 10 yards out for number 2, Torrey Evans.
Boy, we had a good angle on him, and you're like, well, we're going to get him. He may get a yard or two, but we'll get him pushed out. And then all of a sudden he just disappears. That is incredible speed.
So Central overcomes a holding penalty that actually moved them back 15 yards. They had a 2nd and 25 when Boberg broke off that 43-yard line run. And it gets finished off with a 10-yard sweep there by Evans, and the extra point is popped right through. So the Central Bears, first possession, take a 7-0 lead over the Jasper Wildcats here on 18 WJTS. So Stephen Pritchett's got it teed up out there after kicking the extra point. They're up 7-0. Central over the Wildcats, so the Cats will get their 2nd possession here.
You know, Craig, if this game stays tight, if Central's able to eke it out, it could be that 3rd down play right there where Boberg went for a big gainer. That could be the play of the game.
See what Pritchard, he does kick off again deep, and
He's
boy,
got a
what
leg.
I tell you what, 2 kicks right into the end zone, so the Cats will start from the 20-yard line again.
Well, the first one that I seen him do, I mean, you knew right off the bat he was the real deal as far as being able to put distance in that ball. And then I start thinking, you know, we usually pooch kick. If he puts it in the end zone, our starting position's the 20. And if we kick it out of bounds so they can't return it, they're on the 35.
Right. All right, so the Cats get another shot here. They had a nice drive that actually stalled on downs. got deep into Central territory. Faced a 4th and 4 and incomplete pass. Gave the ball back to Central at the 36-yard line.
Well, if Coach Lewis decides that, we need to put the ball up a little bit, kind of try to alleviate the pressure because we ran so much. They almost had the interception right there, but we ran so much. Now they're starting to bring their linebackers up tighter and tighter and tighter to the line. But if we do pass the ball, let's do it on 1st and 2nd instead of, okay, it's 3rd and 8, okay, they have to throw.
All right, so Blake Mann. Dawkins is behind him. Now he gets a little bit more running room there, and so he's able to rush the football across the 25 to the 26-yard line, so a nice first down gain of 6.
Well, that was the beautiful just explosion right through that hole. And when they held him out last week, that's the one thing I was wanting to see is if he had that explosion, coming in. And it looks like he's got it. So that's very good for the black and gold.
So now there goes Dawkins, and he's going to get the first down yardage as he rushes across the 30-yard line to the 32.
Well, Jasper, in the first 2 plays of this drive, have really, really tried to make a statement. But I hate to tell them, the only way they're going to be able to make a statement is if they march all the way down this field and put it in the end zone and let Central know they're here for a fight.
So Lance Dawkins, 131 rushes, 737 yards, and 7 touchdowns coming into tonight. There's an inside counter play that actually read really well there by Julian Johnson, number 21, linebacker for the Central Bears.
Well, our guard on the far side that pulled to come out and kick out the defensive tackle, the counter comes and then he cuts up through that hole, but we missed the block. And then he was just a dead duck. Now, the counters worked very, very well against Vincennes last week, but that's not Vincennes out there tonight.
All right, so Dawkins is going to get it to the left side this time, and it is met quickly there by trying to see the number that made the stop there, and included number 7, Aaron Garris.
Well, Jasper ran, when Dawkins got the 2 plays and we got the first down, he ran in between the guard and the center. I mean, he was right there on the guard. He's going wide there. They'll chase you down. We got to get that guy going north and south.
All right, so when we come back, 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. They trail the Central Bears 7-0 here on 18 WJTS. Back once again to get started for the second quarter. Looking at the coaches matchup tonight. Of course, it's Tony Lewis with the Jasper Wildcats, 2nd season. He had great success in the Indiana State tournament with the Evansville Wrights Panthers, winning 3 sectionals, 2 regionals, a semi-state, and the state championship in 2009. And Sean Coltis, who's in his 2nd year at Evansville Central, lost in the sectional championship last year against Memorial. So now the Cats will run the option man to the left side. And he does pitch at the last minute, but read very well there by the Central Bears. I'm going to see what number comes up, and that's number 21. He made an outstanding read on that. Julian Johnson coming up from a linebacker spot.
Absolutely he did. When man got to the outside and he got to the hash marks, that ball should be in the air because Berger's got to have some sort of yardage over there to maneuver. But he was almost on top of the 3 of the 30-yard line before he pitched it. When Berger caught the ball, he was almost out of bounds, so it's either run out of bounds or get drilled.
All right, so obviously we're not running into any lightning situation, but the rain is picking up and it's blowing here a little bit as Evans is going to take it at the 17-yard line, makes a move there, and good job by Maringer to make that stop there. So Central will have the football, but the Cats forced a punt there, so 2 possessions and nothing on the board yet for the Wildcats. Central will have their 2nd possession of the football game starting right here at the 28.
Well, you and I talked about earlier, if Jasper gets into a sideline-to-sideline type contest tonight, it could be a long night for Jasper. We have to go north and south on these guys. Now, we got to get a stop. This could steamroll in a hurry. Jasper has to make a stand here. This is one of the most important defensive stands that they will make all season.
So 11 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock as they give it to Boberg on the right side, and he's looking for the opening, but then lowers his head, not much there, and so he'll gain to about the 30-yard line, maybe 2 on the play.
Well, as our defensive end, He got out and he looked up. He had the blocker on him, seen that Bolberg was coming towards him, kind of stepped out a little bit, made Bolberg cut back up in, unlike what we did on Evans when he got around the end and got in the end zone. So, and then our pursuit, which was fabulous all year long, was there again, and we held him to a short gain.
All right, so under center this time. They give it to the big guy. Look at Madison just plow forward and just goes right, but he loses the football, and right there is Allbrand to field it right at the 48-yard line. But boy, Madison just had a full head of steam, was just plowing over Jasper Wildcat bodies, but that last contact, the ball got jarred loose, and again, a slick football out there with the rain, and good job by Allbrand to pick that up at the 48.
Absolutely, and wouldn't it be very ironic that the turnover battle would help Jasper win a football game? It seems like it's hindered them all year long.
Yeah, but so he probably had about a 12-yard run going there before he fumbled it.
And it was an impressive 12-yard run.
Yeah. So Jasper has the football. We're going to have to take advantage here as the rain does pick up. Now going to the outside, and number 22 slowed him up, but then man continued to battle to get across the 50, so a pickup of 3.
He did a really nice job in the Vincennes game. Now, granted, we got Grant Young in there pretty early, but he did a really nice job in that Vincennes game of leaning forward. They had him at the 50-yard line, and he stretched the ball all the way up to the 48 on the central side. So, you know, those 2 yards could loom huge on this series.
So second down, we'll call it a 4-yard pickup as the ball's at the 48-yard line now into central territory. Man will run it to the left side, lowers his head and plows forward. So Man getting a little physical out there on this drive.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting a little angry. That's what we need to see out there.
So 4 yards on the first play, 4 yards on the second play. So Cats will face a 3rd and 2.
You would kind of think Dawkins up the middle. And Central is not slanting a whole lot tonight. They're meeting his head up.
A little bit of an opening on the right side, but the linebackers are keeping an eye on it. But Man's going to keep it. He's going to get the first down yardage close to the 40-yard line. He needed to get to the 42, so he's obviously beyond that. So a pickup, we'll say 4 yards, 1st and 10 for the Cats right there at the 40.
It almost appears to me on this drive that Man is understanding Central's going to give you certain things. Take those things. Don't try to do your spin and get the big play every single time. Just move the sticks methodically down the field, put it in the end zone.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Cats. Dawkins this time. He lowers his head. Plows right over Joshua Boberg, number 1. He'll pick up 4.
When the ball was snapped, the 2 nose guards on the inside, I know you're only really supposed to have 1 nose guard, but they're both in those gaps. I mean, they're right there. And they kind of looped out, and that made Dawkins punch it out a little bit further. He did a nice job of getting first contact and then picking up about 3-4 yards.
So we'll call it 2nd and 7, 3 yards actually on the play. So Berger's coming in motion. Now it's just physically hit right there. That was number 57 making a pop and really disrupting that play, Bryson Leach.
I think they're calling the ball down.
So they're going to give him, I guess, the forward motion right there, or the forward progress to the 30. Well, maybe a loss of 1 on the play.
Central coaches cannot be happy with that, because we talked about point of contact against Madison when Central had the ball because he's so big. That point of contact right there looked about a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
All right, so the Wildcats have to get between the 31 and the 30-yard line for a first down here. Man's going to look to throw. He's got a wide open tight end, but he looks downfield. If he can get it to Allbrand, and he hauls it in for the touchdown. Right over the reach of number 15, Reed. And I was looking to the right side, right around the about the 20-yard line or so. The tight end was wide open, Connor Foley, but then he just saw racing across the middle, Allbrand, and that's 3 touchdowns. Those 2 have connected on the last 2 weeks.
Well, I'm with you. That's one of those that if that doesn't work, we're all up here scratching our heads saying, why didn't you go to Foley? Because he was so wide open. But boy, those long passes against a team like Central make me nervous because they've got such great closeout speed.
So a 38-yard touchdown. And the extra point is popped right through. So the Jasper Wildcats take advantage of a fumble. Number 40, Javante Madison, was looking like he was off to a nice long run, but a jarring hit knocked the ball away. Cats get it at the 48-yard line, and they go 52 yards and finish the drive with a 38-yard touchdown pass. We'll take a break. Jasper 7, Central 7 here on 18 WJTS. 38-yard touchdown pass going to Jack Albram. Ties up the football game 7-7 after the kick by Sermersheim, and Sermersheim out there to kick. We'll see what the Wildcats do. They kick it straight away. So it's going to be fielded right at about the 13-yard line. Looking to get to the outside. That's Counts, number 6. And he's got some room over there. He's still going, and he's going to rush us all the way to midfield. So a big run there. We'll call that about a 37-yard return.
Well, when the ball was popped up in the air and it came over here to the side, our pursuit on the backside started to all filter down, and they should have went a little deeper down the field before they came over. The Central has about 6 guys right now that I could point out that can get from sideline to sideline faster than we can get. So our angles are an absolute importance.
So Central in business right at midfield. 7:13 on the clock. Now Madison's going to get a redemption run here, and he gets a good one. Trying to see, I think that was Schneider who actually made the stop, but he's going to be close to a first down. They'll spot it right there at the 40, and we'll see if they call for the chains to move. They're not, I don't believe, so it's going to be just inches short, but man, oh man, Madison can hang on to the football. That was almost a carbon copy of the first run where he lost the football last time.
Came out to the tackle, planted his foot, cut back up into the middle, and before you know it, he's right there.
All right, so Javante gets it to the left side and easily gets the first down yardage, so they'll spot it at the 37-yard line.
Now, if he gets yards tonight, those are the type of yards the Jasper defense needs to do. They need to keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. So when we're in the game, when it gets late in the game, hopefully he's a half step slower and we can start getting to his legs a little bit.
So Central not going away from it, even though he did lose the football, and the Cats were able to take advantage with the scoring strike. Man going to Albram. But Central right back at it with an outstanding kickoff return to the 50-yard line, and now just a couple doses. Now you go at the outside, and Evans cuts it up. Good job there by Peter to force him to go inside, so he wasn't able to get out to the corner like he typically likes to do.
You know, one thing that makes him extremely dangerous coming over the backside like that in motion is they're actually coming up, and they're actually going a little bit high, so they're standing up because Evans is not a tall dude. So when he gets behind that offensive line, we can't pick him up. Unfortunately for Jasper, our defensive backfield over here, they stepped up to the plate.
And they get the Cats to jump offside, so, but they're pointing. Now they're going to call it against the Wildcats, yep. All right, so 5 yards forward makes it 2nd and 5 now.
Goodness gracious. One thing you do not give a great team is gifts. You're able to take them. Of course, you know, like Madison, he gave us a gift. We'll take those all night long, but we're not supposed to do it.
Well, this is going to be a football game that you're going to have to score some points to win a football game against Central, because
yeah, I agree.
Boberg gets it to the outside, and look at him. He's got an opening across the 30. Now he's just going to cut inside. He's across the 20 to the 15 before he's finally met up by a number of Wildcats, but Boberg with a big run there from the 38 all the way to the 12.
Well, when usually they go out to the outside, we see our pursuit coming, and you're like, well, maybe we can hold him to 3 or 4 because he's far enough out. There wasn't any black shirts out there. Jasper did a really nice job of taking their angles and really cutting them deep and, you know, getting them on the 12-yard line. That's not in the end zone, so we've got plenty of time to toughen up here and make Central kick a field goal.
And that's the thing with Boberg. Again, he's got the ability and the speed to go to the outside, but he's also got strength and power whenever he does have to face that contact. He's going to get a chance this time, and now he's going to drop his head and get across the 10. Now penalty flags come flying in.
I think we're going to have a hold.
Yes, we definitely do. So Boberg actually was able to get that inside the 5 there.
I thought the one zebra down here on the far side was actually going like a face mask, but no, he was doing the holding.
Yeah, so they're going to start walking that off from the 14-yard line, so they'll get it at the 24. So it's still first down, but they have to get, you can still get a first down. They actually had that ball spotted at the 13-yard line, so they have to get down to the 3, inside the 3 to get a first down. So,
well, if we don't do a better job like we did on Bogert when he went to the far sideline, if our pursuit's not there, it doesn't matter if it's 1st and 25 or 1st and 50. We've got to get up in his face. There it goes.
Yep, they give it to Evans. Now he cuts inside, and he just tripped up at the last second there. That was actually, I think, Peter. Yes, Peter was able to get a shoestring there, but boy, he was ready to take that off and go into the end zone, but stops him at the 10.
Well, he's so thin when he comes through. He just needs these little crevices to get through, and does a good job of planting his foot and exploding through them. But I'm not so sure if we don't have a totally dry field that he doesn't keep his balance, because Peter got up there, but it also looked like his foot was sliding out.
So 14-yard pickup there on that 1st and 21. Now makes it 2nd and 8. Boberg's going to get it. Cats pick him up right there. That's, again, Peter slowing him up before it's finished off by Schneider and others. But Boberg actually, looks like he didn't even gain maybe gains a yard on the play, we'll call it.
You can always tell when Central's going to have success to the outside because everybody's speed is at top notch. It looked like he was just dragging and dragging and dragging. And the reason that is Jasper's defense from the defensive backfield, their pursuit, they took every angle away. That was awesome. Now we got him in 3rd and long.
So we'll call it 3rd and 7 from the 10-yard line.
They haven't passed yet.
Give it to the big man. Madison just plows forward, and the Cats are able to slow him up. He's not going to get the first down yardage. It's going to set up a 4th down. So he's able to rush it right there to the 5-yard line. Potts was in on the stop.
I got to be thinking that their coaching staff, with somebody like Madison in the backfield, that, they should be able to get this. The confidence has got to go up. Their kicker is an excellent kicker, so.
And they're going to bring him out, so they decide to, hey, let's get the points here. 9 seconds on the play clock.
Jasper better be on their toes.
So Stephen Pritchett out there, number 10, with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And actually Central is going to be forced to call a timeout. They just kind of took their time there. But, again, 2:23 on the clock. He got 3 timeouts. They haven't used one yet, so why not?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe even think about, hey, do we want to go for this? But all right, 7-7 is our score when we come back. 2:23 on the clock, 4th and 2 here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back here once again where Central has got the football at the 5-yard line. Go back 7 there. They're going to spot it at the 12, so a 22-yard attempt straight on. So almost an extra point here for Pritchett.
Well, they got Albrand standing being kind of the guardian.
Oh, almost blocked there, and that was, of course, Grant Maringer. Oh, boy, that was close, but he's able to put it through to give him a 10-7 lead.
That's what you call timing the snap just perfectly.
Absolutely. All right, 2:19 on the clock. Central 10, Jasper 7 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so 2 minutes and 19 seconds. The Cats have time here to do something on this drive. And actually, the rain has stopped, so kind of fortunate that the storm did not really develop into any lightning or anything there. Now Berger's going to be able to field it at the 6. Full head of steam as he's going forward. There we go. And he's able to get across the 40 and finally stopped there. Making the stop is Counts number 6, but Berger with a nice run all the way to the 41-yard line.
I want to tip my hat to Caleb Berger. The last 3 games, he has been running with a fury that he has not been running with all year. And I don't know if somebody threw him an elbow and he's a little angry, or if he's just like, hey, you know, we're getting towards the end. I'm a senior here. It's time for seniors to step up.
I agree.
And that right there was just an unbelievable return. That changes everything with Jasper.
So the ball's actually at the 42-yard line, so we'll call it 36 yards on the return.
You have this much field. You can pass, you can run, you can do anything.
Cats are going to roll out here. Man looking downfield, dumps it out there. He's got Albrand in just a little bit short. Albrand was open, but he threw the ball short and falls incomplete.
We did a nice job of getting the ball over the initial row of defenders that was taking our short guy underneath. But, boy, just a couple more inches, you know, that's first down. But it does stop the clock, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be careful because Central, like you said, they'll get the ball to start the second half, but you don't want to give them too much time to maybe get some more points on the board here. Berger comes in motion to the short side of the field here, but Mann's going to keep it, and again, knocked it out of bounds and, ooh, right into the water table over here. So, can't believe it did not call a late hit there. My goodness.
Well, this really makes it interesting, Craig, when you're looking at 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. If you get close, if you do not pick up the first down and you get close, do you go for it? You know, because it's a 10-7 game, because they get the game or they get the ball at the second half.
Yep.
Interesting game.
Day comes in motion. Now he's his pitch man. Dan pitches out to him. Day with a nice move, and he gets the first down yardage. Goes out of bounds right there at the 45-yard line. So,
Mann did a lot better job on that time going out to the pitch of being on this side of the hash marks and giving Day a lot of room to get around the corner and pick up the first down. But Mann also, when he went out to the side, he made the defensive guy commit by floating back a little bit. Just very, very well done.
So Isaac Day, 7-yard run, sets up the Wildcats. 1st and 10 with 1:55. Clock stop after going out of bounds there. Cats looking to throw. He's got Foley.
Good protection.
Now he's going to have to run out of it. He's got some room over here. Cuts up. Nice play there, and he gets across the 40 and gets brought down at about the 37-yard line.
Boy, that was a heck of a cut.
Yeah, because there was really good pursuit coming there by number 22, Gavin Kelly. And they made an outstanding cut up the field there and was able to gain 7 on the play.
Gosh, I'd have left my hips, my knees, my ankles. I'd have left all that on the field on that move.
So 2nd down and 3. Dawkins gets it. Now he plows forward. Met there by number 34, Isaiah Cooper. Dawkins wins that battle as he's able to get to the 35-yard line, but they're actually, I tell you.
I'd be yelling for a measurement here.
Oh, man.
That's
well,
terrible.
He's got to get to he's a yard short on the spot, but I thought he had the yardage, so now it's a 3rd and 1. Clock running at 53 seconds. Mann's going to keep it, and he's going to get the first down. That's going to stop the clock, and we'll see if the Cats call a timeout here.
Well, we got 3 of them.
47.1, yes. They do not call the timeout as Mann is limping out there. 45 seconds. I don't understand this. Why would, finally, my goodness, you wasted 7 seconds there.
Yes, you did.
All right, so we'll take a break right now. 41.8. Jasper's got a first down at the 34-yard line. When we come back, it's a 10-7 game, Central ahead. All right, so the Cats come out of the timeout. 41.8 on the clock, 10-7. 1st and 10 from the 34. Ooh.
Get rid of it.
Goes way deep, though, and throws it out there, and it's going to fall incomplete. Probably best that just live another day after that.
Yeah.
But, he actually got tripped up just as he was dropping back and really got deep in that drop there to about the 45-yard line. So 2nd down, 36.4 on the clock.
Because of Mann's playmaking ability, a play is never dead with him. But when you're looking at 36 seconds on the clock and you're just kind of going to take a chance, just bury it, stop the clock, and let's move forward.
Right. All right, the Cat's looking to throw here. He's got it out in the flat, and he throws it. Oh, man.
Yeah, he's angry with himself on that one.
Yeah, because Allbrand cut to the outside and he threw inside there. So I don't know if that was confusion there or if man just didn't have a good handle on the football. But if another incomplete will bring up a 3rd and 10 now.
Well, I will say this. The cut that Allbrand made was the correct cut because when he made the move, the defensive guy was not in position to even get his hand on the ball. So regardless of whether it was he changed the route, it was the correct move.
So 3rd and 10 with 32.7 on the clock here at the 34-yard line. Cats looking to throw again. Man's going to launch it deep, and he's got a wide open man, and Allbrand cannot catch up to the football. He was just wide open over there. Again, beating number 15, Edrin Reed. Oh, boy. Allbrand had a chance there, but just could not run under that football. And again, the wind's kind of blowing that way, so I think just a little bit too much air underneath it.
You just heard everybody on the Jasper, it's sitting here, all the fans. They all stood, they knew that it was going to be a touchdown, and it's just like, oh. It was a good route, good speed, but I'm with you on that wind. It will make it carry.
All right, so 4th and 10. Cats forced to go for it with 26.5, and they're going to call a timeout here. Oh, wait, a delay of game against the Wildcats. Cats could not get the play off, so I thought they were calling a timeout there, but no, it's a delay of game. Push the Cats now to the 39-yard line.
Well, we're either going to do, our options are move man back a little pooch, but with 26, they've got 2 timeouts. We could force them to use a timeout.
All right, so man with a deep drop. Chucks it out there, and this is going to be incomplete. Evans had a chance to pick it off there. Dave was the closest guy, but we got a penalty flag. It's going to be a hold against the Wildcats. So,
yeah, that's a moot point.
All right, so Central's going to get the football here. 20.5 seconds. They'll have it. See what Central decides to do here. Again, they've had no passing game so far in the football game tonight. They'll have it at the 39-yard line. So the Cats turn it over on downs.
It would really shock me if Central didn't take a couple of shots here. Of course, with their running backs, they're so fast on the outside. That's a pretty good shot, too. But he's in warm-ups, he was throwing the ball pretty decent, about 35 yards.
So again, 20.5 on the clock.
Count's got one-on-one.
Yeah, give it to Evans because, again, Evans has got the breakaway speed, but Josh Peter there to make the stop. And that's going to run the clock out here, and Central's just going to be happy with that. And they will go into the locker room to warm up and with a 10-7 lead over the Jasper Wildcats. So, again, it's a battle. There's no doubt about it. These are 2 football teams, 2 really good football teams, 2 strong defensive teams, but both teams that run the ball well. The Cats actually get on the board with a nice pass play, but on that last drive there, the passing game, Cats were 0 for 5 passing and just weren't able to get anywhere further. They got to the 34-yard line on that last drive and just couldn't do anything on those last set of downs there.
Yeah, Allbrand was the all or nothing play right there. But if you look at that last series, we had a delay of game. It should have never happened. Our coaching staff let 6 seconds run off the clock, which with Jasper giving it up on downs, turns out that that's not that big a deal.
Right.
But I was really kind of surprised that Central didn't try to get a little bit more aggressive. But, like you said, be happy going in 10-7. You get the ball at the start of the half. So if you can, be productive on that drive, that changes the game and really makes Jasper do things they're not used to doing.
Well, and the thing is with the Wildcats defensively, they just gave up the 1 touchdown. But, again, they're a 3-headed monster when you talk about Central's running game. Again, you got the power of Madison straight up, and then you've got Boberg with the ability to just sweep to the outside and then turn it up forward. And then, again, he's able to absorb contact as he makes those. He had the 2 biggest runs of the night. But then Evans is always a scare, as far as what he can do.
Well, you say the 3-headed monster. Also weight-wise, because you got Madison at 250. Boberg comes around, and he's 200.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you go to, drop down to 170 pounds with Evans.
Right.
He's definitely the lightning in a bottle. But
Right.
you're right. That is difficult. And they have not felt compelled to put the ball up in the air. Their attitude towards this game is what we see up here in DuBois County with Jasper. Control the ball, run it, let's score, eat the clock, and let's just move on to fight another day.
All right, so the difference in this football game is a Pritchard 28-yard or 22-yard field goal, and Central leads the Wildcats 10-7 here at halftime on 18 WJTS. All right, we're at halftime here at Jasper High School, Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium, Joe Rollletter Field, and the Wildcats trail the Central Bears 10-7. And we'll take a look at the first half numbers. The Wildcats with 32 plays, 116 yards, 25 rushes for 78 yards. Here, 1 of 7 passing, but that was the only score for the Wildcats, a 38-yard touchdown pass. Blake Mann hitting Jack Albrand. That tied the football game at 7-7. Blake Mann with 11 carries for 44 yards and 44 yards. Dawkins with 8 carries for 19 yards. No rushing touchdowns. So I'm kind of used to calling Blake Mann or Dawkins for rushing touchdown. All right, and then the Central Bears, they were led actually in the first half. What a first half. Jacob Boberg had 6 carries, but 120 yards, 43-yard run. He's averaging 20 yards per rush. He's had 2 big runs actually, and those 120 yards. Torrey Evans scored their only touchdown on a 10-yard run, but he finishes with 5 carries for 27 yards. And Javante Madison, 8 carries for 32 yards. So really the passing game for the Wildcats, just 1 of 7. And, again, on that final drive there, they eventually gave it up on downs, 0 for 5 passing on that one. But, again, really tough conditions tonight. I mean, just starting to look at the field here, and it's still good downpour coming. But, just in some of those spots, Bob, as you notice, they're really starting to starting to soak a little bit.
Yeah, there's some lakes starting to gather out there. I remember back in the day when we used to come out in games like this, and Coach Joe Rollletter would set his defense down, and he would tell them, all right, man, this is the time we make our statement. This is the time we tell them who we are. So Jasper comes down, has good coverage, and Central gets the ball. Our defense has to set a tone for the black and gold this second half.
All right, so the Cats will be kicking off to the Central Bears. Again, they had a nice kickoff return where Camden Counts was able to return it 38 yards to the 50-yard line, but the Wildcats did a good job of holding Central from getting in the end zone and wound up being a Stephen Pritchett 22-yard field goal.
Craig, I'm not a big fan of the squig kick, but with the middle of the field as wet as it is, it may not be a bad idea to put some moisture on that ball.
All right, so Summersime's out there waiting for the signal from the official. Gets the whistle there, and we are set to go. And again, the rain continues to come down pretty hard here, and he just kicks it right out of bounds. So they're going to give Central the football at the 35-yard line. So now it's just, I think, again, it's a battle of the trenches tonight, Bob. I mean, as far as just the rushing game, the defenses, and everything there, we'll see if the passing game does come into play. But again, Central has yet to throw the football, and the Cats just with 1 completion. And gosh, the wind is really starting to pick up as well. So, again, I think this is just going to be a mano battle right now.
Absolutely. They're going to stand out there like a heavyweight fight. They're going to throw their haymakers and see who's standing at the end. But, Boberg's going to get his carries, and so will Evans. But I would think with the wet field, you'll see a lot of Madison.
And there goes Madison right there. And actually, it looks like I think it was Potts who was able to bring him down, but he's able to get just right to the 40-yard line, so a quick pickup of 5 for the big guy.
You usually don't see 250-pounders that can get from, from their first step to top speed that quickly. That makes it really, really tough.
All right, so 2nd down and 5. Madison gets it again. So the thing is, I mean, as far as with his power, and then he just falls forward. I'll tell you, it's like an extra 2 or 3 yards just as he's starting to go down there. So he picks up 3 on that play.
Well, if you think about it, you have to get in his legs. And if you get in his legs, you know, with that, like you said, with that size, all he's got to do is fall down. And, you know, he's big enough to get 1.5 yards just by falling down.
So 3rd down, they need about 2 here. More Javante to the left side, and he easily gets the yardage, gains 3 there, and so it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 46.
Jasper's really pushing everybody up to that offensive line area. I think the coaching staff at halftime really, they have to be convinced that Central's not going to put the ball in the air. So let's start crowding the line.
Cats make some defensive changes there. Nick Beekline just ran off the field as Foley came back in to take one of the defensive end spots. Wallace is the other, number 72, but more Javante straight up, and he continues to battle. He'll get close to midfield, or actually just shy of the 50. And another pickup of 3 there, so it's been 5 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards for number 40.
Well, if you like reruns, this is a broadcast for you.
All right, they do split out counts over here. This time they give it to Boberg to the outside. A good pursuit by the Wildcats there. He does turn up and he gets across midfield, but maybe gains 2 on the play.
Well, their offensive lineman, number 74, Garrett Mass, 270-pounder, 5'11", well put together. But about the second last play of that first half, even when they were just trying to eat the clock, I'd noticed he come up hobbling. Boy, he's really limping now. And it's just kind of funny that on the side that he sets up on, so far, Central's ran away from him every single time.
So it's 3rd down and 5. Pretty positive it's going to be a running play, but they give it to Evans, and a good job there. Trying to see who came up and made that stop. That was actually Foley kind of forced him inside there, so a good job by the Wildcat defense. And he actually loses a yard on the play.
Well, you would think that the Central coaches, I don't know what they're going to do here, but you would think that if they would have got any yards at all, it would have been a guaranteed 4-down territory.
Well, they decide to go for it. It's right here at midfield, so 4th and 6. They got to get to the 44-yard line.
Jasper's jumped once.
Actually, the quarterback's going to raise up here, and they decide to call the timeout. So good discipline by the Wildcat defense here. And we got our first break in the action. 10-7 is our score, 9-13 on the board. Central looks like they're going to punt when we come back here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Bears call the timeout, not able to get the Wildcats to jump off sides there on a 4th and 6 at midfield, so they will punt it away.
Well, they absolutely had to try it, especially being that Jasper did it once.
Cats put a rush there straight up, but was able to get a nice punt. Ooh, right there to the sideline. It's going to go out of bounds. See where they spot it here. Looks like right at about the 11-yard line, so an outstanding punt. So Central tries to give a lot of dose of Javante Madison on the first 4 runs there. The Cats do a nice job of stopping Boberg for a 2-yard run. Knocked Evans back for a loss. Eventually it was a 4th and 6 and forcing the punt there. So the Wildcats get the football back here, trailing by 3.
You know, you look at it and you talk about Manning and all these other people, but the most important thing right now is the ball people over here on the Jasper side. It's imperative they try to keep that ball as dry as possible. So if man does throw it, you know, he's got a better chance.
It looks like the wind is dying down just a little bit right now. Brings Berger in motion. Man's going to keep it. Gets to the outside there, still on his feet as he's able to get to, I think they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at about the 16, maybe 17-yard line.
Well, if they actually mark him down on the 16, that means Central late hit him. Because where he went out of bounds, he was up around the 17, 18-yard line when another white shirt come diving in. So if they do have him marked on the 16, they definitely missed one.
Actually going to spot it right there at the 17, so gain of 5. Man gives it to Dawkins. Dawkins powers his way across the 20 to the 21.
Well, it's very early in this series, but so far Jasper's come out with, you guys want to run the ball? All right, we'll run the ball. That's a great attitude to have and a good feeling if you're rooting for the black and gold.
All right, so a 3rd and 1 for the Cats here. Dawkins again. Now he's kind of forced the outside, but then is able to turn the corner there. It's a good job by number 21, Julian Johnson, but he was able to lower his shoulder and get the necessary yardage to the 23 and a 1st and 10 for the Cats.
That was one of those, if he breaks it, that's great. But, let's just move the sticks. And I'm sorry, we talk about Madison, but when Dawkins comes through, if you put your hands up and just try to kind of pull him down with a couple of hands, he's going to run through that every time.
Right. So 8:13 on the clock, 3rd quarter action. Jasper trails by 3, has the football here, 1st and 10. And, man, takes a pop there. So number 21, Julian Johnson again there making the stop. Man, maybe gains a yard on the play. So 2nd down and 9.
Well, their defensive linebacker from the backside came up and did a nice job of taking on the initial blocker. And, man, instead of trying to dance around, he just went north and south, and he just exploded up in there. He actually ran into his own guy, but his own guy was being pushed back up into him.
Actually, Luke Dawkins now in the backfield there. Man, tripped up right there. So good job there was Torrey Evans, number 2. So he's able to slow up the Wildcat quarterback, and it's going to force a 3rd and long.
Well, Luke has done a really, really nice job in these last few games and was outstanding in the Vincennes game. But we need all the weight we can get back there. And I don't know if Lance is he's dinged up a little bit or what the deal is.
All right, so 3rd down and 10 from the 23. Man's going to roll to his left. Looking downfield, dumps it over there. Peter catches the football, but right away he is popped, and what a series there for Julian Johnson, number 21. He made some big plays on that drive.
When you roll out, if you get this close, if you get out by the numbers, it's almost like playing basketball with the shot clock. You start to see the seconds tick out, so you attack the ball because they have to get it up. He was getting out close to the sidelines, and they just took it away.
So the Cats will punt the football. Man pops it right there, and it actually gets a nice roll across the 40. 35 continues to roll on, and it will stop just right there at the 31-yard line. So a good punt for the Wildcats. A little game of field position right now, Bob.
Well, in weather like this, Craig, that's really all it boils down to is protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball. But once again, this defense is getting out there, and they're getting right back out there pretty quickly. Our offense has to do a better job of controlling that ball and letting our defense rest a little bit. But, our defense is going to go out, and once again, here comes number 40. He's going to be slamming through that middle. Well, that's what I would do anyway.
All right, so Madison will set up right behind the quarterback, as he typically does. Diaz has not had any carries yet tonight, but Madison right there straight up, and now he's showing some speed and power and gets all the way to the 40-yard line. So a huge run there. He was almost 15 yards or so down the field before he finally faced some contact. But boy, look at that, a 30-yard run on 1st down for number 40.
Too bad we don't have Chris Berman calling that one. There would have been a couple of rumbling, bumblings.
Stumblings,
Yeah, absolutely. And he did a nice job. When Jasper came up, they tried to strip the ball, and he did a nice job of pulling it into his body to control that ball.
So Javonte Madison getting a lot of the workload for the Central Bears early in this second half. Gets it right there, and look at him continue to plow forward all the way to the 30. all the way to the 25. Another 15-yard run there. 2 carries, 45 yards for number 40 now.
We had a couple of guys trying to stretch his jersey out there. I'm sorry, guys, you're just not going to bring that man down like that. But, you know, get into his legs. You know, they're at the 25. Yeah, they're driving the ball, but, you know, make a stand right here and change the momentum of the game.
Yeah, Madison actually looks a little winded there, but
he should be.
But again, that is one weapon that the Wildcats did not have to face in the first game, as he sat out with an injury. But this time you give it to Evans. Now he's turned it on. Look at the speed there, and turns upfield all the way inside the 10. They're going to stop him at the 7-yard line.
Jasper gave him some good pops when he hit that corner, but he was able just to turn his hips so fast and get his feet back under him and keep his balance. And it wasn't until we wrapped him that we brought him down. But, you know, you get pounded, and all of a sudden you just bring lightning straight at you. Man, that is a big-time adjustment at game speed.
All right, so now you got 1st and goal for the Bears. They lead by 3, looking to put more points on the board here on this drive. The rushing attack for the Bears. Evans gets it here. He's going to dance a little bit in the backfield and turn forward and not gain anything there. Maybe a yard.
I know they've got confidence running the ball up the middle. They've been very successful on it, especially on this series of downs or on this drive. I'm really surprised they try to come Evans, you know, through the side. Just give it to Madison. Just don't play around. Just go, just like what we do with Dawkins.
Right. All right, so 2nd down and goal from the 5. 3:53 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Madison gets it to the left side, continues to plow forward, but is going to be stopped short. See if they got it to the 3, maybe 2-yard line. I think it's going to be there at the 2, so it's going to be a 3rd down and goal from there.
Okay, Craig, I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to take the whole 36 cents out of my pocket, and I'm going to lay it down here that Madison gets the ball.
Yeah, because I was trying to see if I think the only Boberg's not out there. So
well,
Madison.
They got weapons galore, but yeah, it would.
Madison gets it this time, and he actually spins there, and he does get into the end zone. So Madison from 2 yards out finishes off this drive. It started at the 30-yard line after a Wildcat punt, but a 30-yard run by Madison, a 15-yard run by Madison. Evans from 19. And then Madison finishes the last 5 and puts 6 more points on the board for the Bears.
Central did a great job. I mean, they went through, they punished with Madison, stuck Evans in there a couple of times with the speed, and they were able to mix it up enough to where they were able to get a score.
The snap is there for Pritchett, and the kick is good. So Central Bears on their 2nd drive are able to go 70 yards all on the ground. And they lead the Wildcats by 10, 17-7 here on 18 WJTS. So the Bears kicking off to the Wildcats after scoring. And it goes straight into the end zone. So they've been kicking into this win a number of times so far in this game. So Cats are not able to get any return there for Berger. 3:05 on the clock, 17-7. The Bears lead the Wildcats.
Goodness gracious, even when he kicked straight into the wind, he was taking it down to the, 5-7 yard line.
Yeah.
He's got a heck of a leg on him. That's a nice weapon to have.
All right, so the Cats will have the football at the 20. They got to answer now, down by 10 here with 3:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Man, faces a lot of pressure. Now is able to dump it over there to Foley, and he loses the football. They're going to call this incomplete, though. This is a break for the Wildcats. Big-time break for the Wildcats. Central fans over there are throwing a fit.
Well, I would be too, but when he caught the ball, he's got those white mitts out there. You could see him move like he was trying to gather the ball, and then he did that little spin, so he didn't. They say you got to control the ball, but you also have to make a football move, and I just don't think that football move part of it was there. Or the officials You know, they're the ones that they're the important ones, and they seem to agree with that.
So it was outstanding pressure on the quarterback. That was Bryson Leach, number 57, getting after man there. Now there's Dawkins, and boy, he is just forced backwards, but then I think he might end up getting a couple yards out of this play, but Lance Dawkins was really pushed back to about the 15-yard line before he was able to turn it up and make something out of what could have been really bad there.
Yeah, well, anything positive. That's the only thing Jasper can look at right now. You know, we're getting late into this third quarter. It would sure make the Jasper fan base feel a whole lot better if we could move the sticks on this play.
So 3rd down and long again for the Wildcats. 3rd and 8 this time. And they give it to Berger on the counter play, but he's able to get to the 25 before a host of Central Bears are able to make the stop there. So Cats are going to be forced to punt again.
That's a little bit of a head scratcher right there. You know, you're in 3rd and long situation, and maybe the coaching staff was kind of hoping them to, you know, catch them off guard a little bit. Well, nonetheless, you know, we're punting the ball now. It's imperative that we hold them to as good as field position as we can get them.
So again, they're punting into the wind here. Oh boy, that was Madison who actually almost got to man, but it takes a Central bounce, and Central will have outstanding field position at the 47 is where, or 48-yard line is where they're going to spot that. But 1:25 on the clock. Central scored on their last drive, and I'm sure we're going to see a big dose of number 40 again on this one.
Well, you would think so. I would think so. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. That's what I'd do. And their coaching staff, as well as, you know, the success they've had in the last couple of years, that, you know, you're thinking they're doing the same thing. But when he came through that line, almost blocked that kick right there, there was no resistance. They had 2 white shirts. You know, we have got to clean that up. Time's running out.
Because we got 1:25 on the clock here in the 3rd. 17-7 is our score. Madison gets it, and he just lowers his head and just knocks Wildcat defenders on their backs. And actually, we got a man down right now, or at least slow getting up there, and that's Ashton Schneider, number 53. Boy, he took some punishment on that run.
Yes, he did, but he took one for the team. You know, he could have easily rambled for another, 15 yards, but Schneider stuck in there. He met him, straight up. And Schneider, when you're talking Jasper defense, if you're asking me to single one person out, Schneider's the man.
Oh, yeah.
He has just played outstanding this year. Fortunate for him, he didn't have to tackle a 250-pound guy every game.
He shrugs it off, gets back to his middle linebacker spot, but now here comes Madison straight up, and he's actually making moves out there and spinning around, and it takes 3 or 4 guys, including Potts, number 58, but not before he's able to rush all the way down to the 22-yard line, so 21 yards on that scamper.
What a nightmare when you have a man that size that's got good start-stop speed and then has moves like that.
I'm trying to see, are they calling a timeout, or do they think that was the end of the quarter? I don't know what's going on over there on the sideline.
Well, they had a player hobbling around a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It looked like Boberg. Now, I could have missed the number.
Boberg's right there in the backfield.
Yeah. But it was one of their special players.
Yeah, actually, number 64 walks off the field over there. So that's Jax Wargle, one of their offensive linemen. So, all right, so now the clock's going to run. They will have to run at least one more play. Play clock's at 10 right now and 22 on the game. So, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line.
Play clock's way down.
Boberg gets it. He makes a move, and Day's able to slow him up at about the 20-yard line, but that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So the Central Bears using the power football game here in this second half. They put 1 touchdown on the board. And when we come back, they'll be in the red zone at the 19 here on 18 WJTS. All All right, the Central Bears now facing the wind in their face, but it hasn't really mattered because they've not thrown the football one single time tonight. And in this second half, it's just been the power game that has gotten them inside the 20 right now at the 19. And the power game continues with Javante. But I'll tell you what, though, we've talked about how quick he is through the line of scrimmage, but, you know, for 250, 260 pounds, he's really got the moves, too, as he makes a spin move there to get inside the 15.
It almost looks, you know, like it's not even fair. Because when you watch these little scat backs, when they get contacts, and Mann's done a great job of it all year, once that contact hits, they spin. You wouldn't think that a 250-pound guy could do it that easily.
Right.
But, boy, I tell you what, Craig, he is definitely the real deal.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of Jerome Bettis out there as far as the style of runner that he is. Quarterback keeps it, though, so that throws the Wildcats off. And an outstanding call, actually, if the quarterback saw that. Because a lot of times the quarterback sneak, just a little pat on the center's butt there, and that goes for 3 quick yards and a 1st and goal.
Well, when you get pounded and pounded and pounded by Madison up the middle, you know, you start to get a little bit tired. Defense has been out there quite a bit. And when you start to get tired, you're just looking for Madison. You're looking at any angle, you can do whatever. And like you said, even if that play wasn't called, outstanding by the quarterback to look up, see it, and go get the first down.
Right. So a 1st and goal. They'll be at the 10-yard line here. Clock running, just a minute into the 4th quarter. Madison gets it. And a good job defensively there to knock him back. And that is, I believe, Potts making the stop there, number 58.
That was outstanding. They stood him up, and they were able to get him a little bit off his feet, off his balance, which, of course, then the big man can't just start shoving people forward. They did a real nice job of bringing him down.
All right, so we'll call it a gain of 1 on that play. And they were spotted at the 9-yard line, so 2nd and goal from the 9.
Well, in their earlier touchdown this half, they used Evans and they used Bolberg.
They pitch it out to Bower. He can't handle the football. That's just what the Cats would have needed, was a recovery of the football, but he's able to jump back on it. But a loss of 5 on the play will kind of force a passing situation here. 3rd and 15, 3rd and goal from the 15.
With Jasper's lack of ability to move the ball on offense, I can't imagine that the coaching staff would put this ball in the air with it being wet. Don't give him a chance to get a pick 6, get right back in this game, swing the momentum. Just, if you got to kick that field goal, I know you're going into the win, but your kicker is top notch. Just don't turn it over.
So 3rd and 15. They're going to run the football. They're going to see what Evans can do, and he cuts inside and lowers his head. He's not going to get to the goal line, but he gets inside the 5 to about the 2.
Wow.
So 13-yard run for number 2, Torrey Evans.
He not only planted his left foot and bounced to the inside, our pursuit came, he planted his foot again within like 2 yards and bounced it inside again.
Right.
Wow.
All right, so this is a situation right here. Again, you would think number 40 is going to get the football. They need about 2.5 yards.
Yeah, they're trying to close the door right now.
So it's 4th and goal from the, we'll call it 3. Big man gets it, and big man gets it in. So Javante Madison, what a series of runs he had there, including a 21-yarder. They started with the football at the 48-yard line, so the 48-yard drive finishes with a 2-yard run on 4th and goal.
You know, in the North game, one of the key plays in that game was when the guy made an outstanding play for North and brought man down, then did the Superman stance over him, got the flag, Jasper goes down, scores. He's doing that a little bit out there, but I tell you what, the work he's put in tonight, he's backing up every bit of it.
Right, especially here in the second half. All right, so tough time handling the snap there, but he does not put it through. He's not able to get the ball down there, so 23-7, it's still a 2-touchdown lead, but
in 2-point conversions.
Right, 16-point lead for the Bears. So 8:39 on the clock when we come back. Central will kick off to the Wildcats here on 18 WJTS. 23-7 our score. Central set to kick off. 8:39 to go, Bob.
Well, Jasper's looking for the quick score, and this is where it really benefits Central if they can put it through the end zone. Oh.
So they kick it straight up, but the Cats are going to get a little bit of a return here. I think that was Peter who actually returned that. So he was able to get the football to the 39-yard line. So Cats have good field position here, but again, you've got to score quickly. And like I said, it's still a 2-touchdown game as the missed extra point kept it at 16 with two-point conversions. But so we can still technically call this a 2-score football game.
Oh, absolutely. And Jasper's going to have a pretty good quick touchdown here.
All right, so the Cats forced to throw here, and a quick pick right there, and Central's going to get a return on this, if not go all the way, and it's actually tripped up. Man's able to trip him up at about the 15-yard line, but a pick right there thrown right into the hands of Gavin Kelly. That was just too easy for Central there.
Craig, I'm going to bring back a bad memory for you. Remember Neil O'Donnell when they were playing the Cowboys? And the defensive back for the Cowboys got Super Bowl MVP, and he did nothing. The ball was thrown to him just like that. I don't know if the ball came out of his hand wrong or if he thought he seen something else, but, man, that wasn't even close.
Yeah, he threw it right into Gavin Kelly's hands, and he was able to return that football all the way to the 12-yard line. So Central's really looking at possibly putting this football game away if they get a touchdown here.
Yeah, it's just pound right now. And I'll be surprised if they don't eat up all the play clock, which they did, and they only went to 13.
So Madison lowers his head and powers all the way to the 9-yard line.
Well, if Central punches this ball in and extends this lead, it's going to be unfortunate because it was a pretty decent battle. But that Madison, we didn't see him in the first time, and he is the difference maker.
Right. In the first half, you had some nice runs by Boberg, but second half, and especially in a game where actually the rain has finally stopped, but we had a pretty steady downpour the entire second half, and they just kept giving it to their big man. And they're going to actually call a timeout here. So Central with the football right at the 10-yard line, 2nd and 8 when we come back. They're looking to put the nail on the coffin possibly in this football game. 7:41 to go, 23-7 Central over the Wildcats. All right, so the Central Bears from the 10-yard line here. Give it to Boberg. Boberg turns up, makes a move at the 5. He's still on his feet, and he leans forward in for the score. So Boberg, who had a huge first half, not much action. I think it's only his second carry of the second half, but he puts 6 more points on the board, and the Central Bears now pretty well own this football game with 7:34 to go, leading 29-7.
Well, the coaching staff over there understands. Everybody's looking for the pounding going up the middle, and Boberger's been out there and he's been doing a good job blocking, giving the ball, but you just see a very, very tired Jasper defense. They've been out there almost the entire second half.
Right. And we got a late flag, actually. So the kick is good, but we got a penalty flag on the field. We'll see what this is. Or something done by a Wildcat or something done by a Bear. Obviously, it's a personal foul against the Jasper Wildcats, so this will be walked off on the kickoff. So, all right, so we'll take a break. Jasper trails now 30-7 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the personal foul against the Wildcats actually has Central kicking off in Wildcat territory. So they're going to kick right there from the 45-yard line. I don't know if he'll try to, just for fun, kick a field goal or what he's going to do here. And we'll see if he can get there. Nope. Again, he's kicking into the wind, but you knew he was going to kick it into the end zone. But I wanted to see if he actually got through the uprights. But
well, like the other Central players, he's been outstanding tonight. And, hey, why not, Just send it in there and let Jasper come out. And only a miracle.
So we still got 7 minutes and 34 seconds left in this football game. Central dominating 30-7. Cats have just not been able to answer the Central rushing attack. Been forced to throw here in the second half, and it's just not happening as Mans actually sees an opening there, but then gets knocked out of bounds right at about the 23-yard line. Good job there by Josh Boberg not to get too crazy over there on the sideline and injure a player. So 4-yard pickup on that play, 2nd down and 6.
Well, it's been the game. In the game, the whole game is going east to west, sideline to sideline. You're just not outrunning Central. That's all there is to it.
Right. Man, chucks it over here to Connor Foley. Foley's got an opening. Now he stiff arms his way to the 45-yard line. So again, a weapon that the Wildcats have had available to them. They finally get it into his hands. Big play there, but obviously just probably a little bit too late.
Well, that Camden Counts, their top receiver, is limping off the field right now on the far sideline. With this deep in the fourth quarter and this kind of lead, I cannot believe that they even have him in the game. Well, you sure don't want to have one of your stars get hurt.
Yeah, and Evans is actually going to rush off the field now, but at least he's running, so should be okay.
His jog is 4 times as fast as my sprint.
These days. All right, so 21 yards on the pickup to the tight end, number 89, Connor Foley. 7:15 on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
They're just having Pfeiffer play center field.
Trying to set up a screen there to Maringer, and boy, he is read and leveled by number 34, Isaiah Cooper, but then we get a late flag coming in.
Well, he did a nice job of sliding off Carson Chanley. Chanley initially had him locked up, but then he slid off of him and just put the hammer down.
All right, so 15 yards will be assessed on the personal foul there. So, again, that's just the tough thing, though, to teach 16, 17, 18-year-old kids is that, you know, you play a physical football game, you make a nice play like that, but then, you know, just shenanigans that ruin it. I mean, it may more or less may have cost North, you know, the football game against the Wildcats a couple weeks ago.
It absolutely did. I mean, Jasper doesn't get a first down if that doesn't happen, you know. But, yeah, you hate to see that, and especially in a game that's kind of already decided.
Right. So inside of 7 minutes now, Mann looking to throw again.
He's just got to get it up.
And he's flushed out of the pocket. We'll call that a coverage sack there. Number 57 ends up getting credit for it, and that's Bryson Leach. So a loss of about 6 on the play. They'll spot it right there at the 42-yard line. We'll call it a loss of 5, actually. 2nd down and 15 from there from the 47.
You know, instead of trying to go for the deep one, we've been getting these. Get 10 yards, get out of bounds. The actual time that you have the ball is going to be long, but not that much time is going to go off the clock if you can stop.
Man, throws a bullet over there, but Allbrand can't bring it in, so it falls incomplete. So now we got a 3rd down. Stops the clock, 6:10 on the clock right now.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. You just don't see Jack Allbrand drop that ball. I mean, you could throw him 10 of them, he'll catch 9.
Right. So the Wildcats were forced to throw the football tonight to be in this football game, and again, that has just not been a strong suit for the Wildcats all season. Man chucks it over here. Connor Foley now. He makes a nice move, but maybe gains 5 on the play.
Now, I know Central's in a prevent right there, and that's what they're giving Jasper. But even early in the game, when the game was tight, with his type of size, you know, things like that, and you know, coming in with when he runs downhill and the power he has, some of these defensive backs are not going to be able to bring him down.
No. So now 4th and 10. Man throws it out there, and he does complete it, so it's going to be a first down, and that is Allbrand hauling it in this time, so he's able to catch that football at the 28-yard line, pick up a 14.
Well, he makes up for the drop earlier, and he was down on his knees when he caught that. He went down to get it, did everything that receiver's supposed to do.
All right, so the Cats stay alive with the drive here. Stops the clock, or actually the clock now running at 5:16. Cats trail 30-7. Blake Mann now sees an opening to run the football to the right side there. Slows up a little bit before the 20-yard line. So again, number 22, Gavin Kelly making the stop there. So that will continue to let the clock run at 4:49.
Kelly's had a good game tonight. And you notice that as good as Central is, especially in a game like this, it gets late, you start to see guys get lazy. They are so disciplined. They are still getting out, getting into the lane, breaking down, and man's eventually going to have to come to them.
So a 5-yard pickup from the 22 here. Man rolls to his left. Now he's going to go to the end zone. Now it's a jump ball situation, but it falls incomplete there, looking for Allbrand.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been out there, if he would have been able to get his big 7-foot frame up there and grab that. But if you're going to somewhat throw it away, I know the game's kind of out, take a chance, I guess. But if you get into a game and you're going to somewhat throw it away like that, just send it in the stands.
I'll tell you what, the coverage has been outstanding for Central, especially in the second half here.
Well, they just have so much speed. And you got Evans back there at the safety.
Man down to 1 second, gets it off. Still looking. Actually got Day wide open over there, so Day makes a cut, gets inside the 15.
He should have stepped out.
So they'll spot that actually at the 13-yard line. So a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on the 9-yard hook up there.
Turning it inside and getting an extra 3 yards. If he steps and gets the first down, they set the chains and then the clock starts again. But if you run out of bounds, the clock, stays stopped.
So clock, we're inside of 4 minutes right now with 3:52. Man drops back. He's got Berger to his right. Now he just chucks it out there, and actually Allbrand would be the intended receiver, but he took a pop. Number 21, Julian Johnson, got to him. And we got a penalty against the Wildcats, a holding penalty right there at the 21-yard line, so that's really going to move things back.
Defensive linemen or offensive linemen are taught, 1,001, 1,002, 1,000. You get up to about 4 to 6 seconds, depending on the routes your receivers are running. But when it just goes on and on and on and on like that, sooner or later they're going to slip off and you just reach and grab because you don't want man to get crushed.
Right. So the football's moved all the way to the 32-yard line. So first down marker is at the 4-yard line, so a long way to go there. They actually run a draw with Berger there, and Berger takes a pop. So, and that is number 40, Javonte Madison on the defensive end making a stop.
Well, what they have him doing right there, instead of trying to put pressure up the middle, every once in a while they send him, but for the most part, they just have him holding that line right there in the middle. So if they do run a draw or they do run a screen in the middle, he's right there to break it up, and he did an outstanding job that time.
So second in forever. Man's going to roll to his right. Checks a pass out there, an opportunity for a pick, but it gets knocked away, so good job becoming a defender there on that play. That was Cooper Ewing, number 13. Counts had an easy interception if Ewing doesn't make that play, so Cats will live at least one more play here.
Well, Counts turned and looked at the referee. He he definitely could have thrown a flag on that one
I
for
thought he kind of
offensive
like
interference.
shielded his eyes or something there, but no.
You know, I got a question that maybe you can answer for me, and we'll get to it right after this play.
What if I don't want to answer?
No, you got to answer it anyway. It's been bugging me forever.
3:01 on the clock. Man, just chucks it out there. Connor Foley, and Connor Foley's not even there, and that's going to be an easy interception in the end zone this time for counts. So the second pick thrown tonight by Mann. Just wanted a kind of a jump ball situation there, but Foley was on the outside, and he threw inside, and now Central will just pretty well run it out. 2:54 on the clock. They just need probably maybe 2 first downs to kind of count this down.
Okay, here's my question for you. If you snap the ball as a quarterback, you got a close game, snap the ball and you spike it. How is that not intentional grounding? You're not outside the tackle box.
Oh, well.
It doesn't pass the line of scrimmage, but I've seen them throw intentional grounding in the last 2 minutes. So it can't be under 2 minutes, you can do this.
If you're just throwing it to the ground?
Yeah.
Well, that's just kind of a rule that they've allowed instead of forcing them just to, that's something they've allowed for years. All right, so the rush forward, and going to be short of the first down there, and I didn't see who actually carried the football.
Kemper on the carry for Central.
I guess that was Matt. Was that Madison?
No, that was Temper.
Okay.
I think that was about 7, so that makes it 2nd and 3.
I was going to say, I would not have Madison out there right now.
Oh, my Lord,
He
no.
has done his work for the night.
Yes, he has. It
Actually had him out there on defense last time. I don't know if I'd have done that, but.
He is an impressive man.
All right, so the lean is to the 17-yard line, or 27-yard line, I'm sorry. And a rush forward there for a first down, so that's going to give another series of downs here. We got 2:04 on the clock here. Central just trying to wind down this first-round win over the Jasper Wildcats. They are going to go to 10-0 on the season. Second win over the Wildcats this year.
You know, Craig, we had talked about it until Central gets into maybe the semi-state, when they run into a team that's got 265, 270 across the middle, that are as quick as Central is, they should just be running roughshod over everybody. They have got a heck of a squad.
But, that's the one thing, though, when you think about it, though. Again, a lot of weapons that they have in that backfield. Again, Boberg, what a first half he had. And, then Madison just pretty well dominant in the second half. We know what Evans has got the capabilities of doing. But they're going to run into a situation where they're going to have to throw the football, and you're going to have to throw the football down the field. So, I think it's just going to be one of those cases. They might survive the sectional, but, advancing into further rounds, you really got to have a passing game. And, again, Jasper was forced to do that tonight, and, we had our struggles this evening trying to compete with the ball up in the air, and it's just not something we've been successful doing all year.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about, gosh, even at the Central game and the Bosse game, that if Jasper wants to advance in the tournament, they're going to have to mix it up a little bit so everybody has to guess, because when we start getting late in the season, especially when we got into Central, Castle, and North, they were taking their linebackers and they were shooting them in the middle, or they were shooting them straight out towards the end. And, if they have more defensive players out there and you do offense, good luck.
Right. All right, well, this is a big win for the Central Bears. Congratulations to the Bears as they advance on in this tournament. And they will actually play Boonville, and they'll be at home because Boonville had got the bye, so they'll automatically be a road team there. So congratulations to the Bears. Great game tonight for them, but now it's just kind of a reflection time when it comes to the Jasper Wildcats, and what an outstanding season this team really had. Again, first time competing in a conference, the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. We played Memorial, we played some of these other teams once we got into the tournament. This is the second year in a row that we've lost to the Central Bears in the football tournament. But, again, now it's just one of those things coming into the season. You're like, gosh, can Jasper really compete? What kind of record are they going to finish with this year? Are they going to win 3 games, 4 games? They won 7 games and just really showed that this Jasper football program is one of the top-notch teams in this conference.
Well, I've talked to several players over this past week that, that played back in the 70s or played in the 80s or what have you, that they were just extremely impressed because when they played in the 70s and just getting in the 80s we stopped, but those guys were playing in the SIAC too.
Right.
And with Jasper going from the Big 8 over to the SIAC, every single one of them was impressed with what Jasper was able to achieve.
Right.
And even though Madison didn't play, the Central, the Castle, and the North game, they ended up winning the North game. But at the end of the game, they had the ball, to get the victory. And I got to tell you, I am very impressed with what Jasper did. Unfortunately, we started getting Lance Dawkins a little dinged up towards the season. But everything they've had to go through with new coaching staff to this whole COVID mess and everything like that, coming out with the record they did, I think was rather impressive.
Oh, there's no question about it. No question about it. And again, early on, just kind of getting the ball rolling in that first game against Memorial, and now we're starting to see Memorial as one of the better teams in the conference, winning 6 straight. And I kind of expect the sectional final, to be Central against Memorial, but. I just think that just right there gave the Wildcats confidence early on. Now, you're going to run against the Harrisons and the Bossies and some of that, but again, Mater Dei is a great football program historically and all that, and we won that football game. We showed against Castle. My gosh, led that game for a good period of that football game towards the end, until the end. But again, I'm just so impressed, and this should give the Wildcats hope and confidence that, again, we can be a power in this conference year in and year out.
Oh, absolutely. And if you look at just on the offensive side, next year we've got 3 offensive linemen coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Young has come out in the games and played in very important spots.
Sure.
It wasn't all mop-up, and he's done very, very well. We've seen what Luke Dawkins can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, Foley is coming back.
Right.
So Jasper's future is pretty bright, but you look at the Evansville Central, you look at their roster, they're taking a big hit next year.
Right.
All their stars, other than their quarterback,
right,
they're gone.
Yeah.
So, it's just a rotation. You'll have your good teams and your bad teams, but Jasper will be there again next year, and if they continue to just improve and get back in that weight room, I think Coach Lewis has a bright future.
I totally agree. So, you hate to see it end, and what an outstanding season Blake Mann had, running the football, and, showed some flashes there with the passing game and all that. But, again, there's no doubt that, the Wildcats with the triple option is going to want to run the football. But, he led the Wildcats in rushing this season, and just an outstanding season overall. But you just hate to see it end for some of those guys. But also, the guys on the offensive line, like Tyler Kelly and Quade Pope. I know that Pope's actually getting some looks at some schools, to possibly continue on with his football career. But and then Jacob Potts will be back, so he's a junior. You got Ashton Sheeter, so there's a lot to build on there. But you just really hate it to see it end for the seniors, including Lance Dawkins and others.
Anybody that's put on the black and gold, that senior night, it comes.
Right.
Or that senior season, it comes. And it eventually is going to end. And the way I felt and you felt way back when, and the way these kids feel, that's all the same. That doesn't change over the course of the years. But since we're sitting out, I know people told us, hey, look what you did, and you got to the semi-state, 3 years in a row.
Right.
We didn't get it in our senior year, but regardless, you don't want to hear that as a player. But I'm here to tell these young men, first year in the SIAC, and you played some tough teams, and you were right there. Other than this game, you were right there in every single one of them.
Right. Yep. So. All right, well, we'll take a quick look at the numbers here, and Central dominant with the running game. Again, 47 plays, all on the ground, 315 yards, compared to the Wildcats' 55 plays, 186 yards, 98 of those coming on the ground. So we finished with 88 yards passing. Again, Javante Madison, what an outstanding game he had, with 22 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boberg finishes with 10 carries, 129 yards, but a bunch of those coming in that first half with 2 big long runs. Torrey Evans was his, typical self, 9 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. So, again, this is a Central team that, again, very competitive, in this sectional and all that. And we'll see, again, if they can get past, I guess it's going to be Memorial probably against Wrights next week. And then, again, I just really feel that, a power football team, but eventually you're going to have to put it up in the air to be able to be successful and continue on.
Well, it's one of the things that every football fan at the high school level, talks about. When you get to the upper levels, the semi-states and all that, you start running into all those schools that recruit.
Right.
And, Fort Wayne Lures that won the state championship, I don't know how many years in a row. They had guys from Ohio. They had 6 of their players from Ohio. Yeah. And they were all D1. So when you run into Catholic schools like that, it does happen. Now, Memorial, you were talking about them, and in their sectional, they're actually ranked 12th right now. They started off number 1, fell completely off, and they came back. And they've got the Hurley over there coaching. He's got a lot of experience. Memorial will put it up in the air with Central.
Yeah.
That could be interesting because Central, I don't see how they just don't go crush Boonville. So I would agree with you. I think it's going to be Central and Memorial.
All right. Well, again, congratulations to Coach Tony Lewis and the Jasper Wildcats. They'll finish the season with a 7-3 record. And the Central Bears and Coach Sean Coltis advance on with their 10-0 record.
I want to give one quick shout-out to Brian Lewis and Teresa there in the athletic department. They had no idea. They were going into the season blind, but the whole Jasper School Corporation, big thumbs up. You guys did a great job.
No question. I mean, we didn't even know if we were going to have sports or football or anything, and we complete a season, and we're continuing on in the tournament here. So, all right, so great job, Bob. Sorry it has to come to an end, and Jeremy, so sorry for what you had to deal with upstairs. I mean, it's been a treacherous night. And he's probably like,
MVP
why don't you two shut up so we can get out of here. So, all right. Well, that's the way the end of the season kind of goes. But, all right. So, for Bob Welp and Jeremy Markos, I'm Craig Schneider. Thank you so much for covering Jasper, for following Jasper football here on 18 WJTS. And, again, thank you so much for all the sponsors that sponsor our telecast week in and week out. And, again, like you said, to Brian Lewis and the entire athletic department and the whole administration at Jasper High School for putting on, again, a class program in all of our sports. But, of course, we cover football here. So, all right, so good night, everybody, and we'll catch you once basketball season starts. It's Wildcat football on 18 WJTS.
This has been an 18 WJTS presentation of Jasper Wildcat football.